Welcome to part 4 of our puzzles series, and this is the odds and ends puzzles, the last ones. There's a few of each for each level, bronze, silver, gold, diamond, and master. We're going to start off with the bronze puzzle. So this is bronze puzzle number 1, and this is all about gaining influence. So we're going to need to gain enough influence to deal lethal to our opponent here. There's a few things that we have. We've got Flash Fire, we've got Mantle of Justice, and we've got Ferocious Stranger. We're going to want to ignore the Mantle of Justice and the Ferocious Stranger because we have 4 fire influence already. That's going to be enough to win us this. So what we want to do is find our fire cards, play Arcano Stranger, play Praxis Stranger, which now gives us 6 fire influence, 3 on the Forsworn Stranger, attack, and Flash Fire. Here's our second bronze odds and ends puzzle, and this one is more of a power kind of puzzle here. We're going to want to have Combrite Emissary first so that we can gain extra power cards. We're going to play a Sigil out of our deck, and we're going to need to start doubling this. Now, it's important that we use Finest Hour on it first because that's going to start doubling it right away. So we're going to do that, then we're going to play this Justice Sigil to double it up. We're going to play Seek Power, and that's going to let us draw another Sigil. Play it again because we have this Combrite Emissary. Goes to 16, Elder's Feather for the last point of damage, and we win. Last bronze odds and ends puzzle. We're outnumbered, survive, and then win on our turn. So we need to stop our opponent from winning here. Now the way to do that is not through Flash Freeze. It's through just gaining enough life. So we're going to double damage and lifesteal onto our Sandstorm Titan here. We're actually going to block one of the Entomb Ticking Grenadins, and it's going to leave us exactly at 1. So they attack for just enough. If we block one of these, the problem is it's invulnerable to damage, so we don't gain any life off of it. And now what we do is we put a Morningstar on it and attack for exactly 16. First silver odds and ends puzzle. This is a Vodacon puzzle, so we're going to use Vodacon to deal enough damage to our enemy by getting all of our power cards Destiny. We have a District Infantry on the board, which gets in power, giving us extra damage whenever we get a power card into play. And we have Privilege of Rank in our hand to be discarded, that draws 2 Justice Sigils, which will then be played immediately if they have Destiny. And we have the Whispering Wind to discard it. So what that means is, we play a Combrite Banner to get Vodacon online, getting this a little bit larger. And then we attack with both, discard our Privilege of Rank to play it for free, which gets us extra Destiny cards as our Justice Sigils, and plays them down for our District Infantry to get large enough to kill our opponent. Our second silver odds and ends puzzle. This one we're looking at needing to kill their Towering Terrazon to get in and use Bad News to win the game afterwards. So we can't use Dragon Breath on the False Prince, or it'll just become a 1-1. So the easy way to do, and we can't really use Xenon Initiation because we can't lose either of these creatures or we don't have enough damage. So what we do is we are going to use Synchronized Strike to make our creatures bigger. And then we Dragon's Breath this one and kill the Towering Terrazon. Attack for 6, leaving our opponent at exactly 11, which we now have thanks to Bad News. We have our third odds and ends silver puzzle here. Once again, we have to win in a single turn. And this is one of those ones where we need to kill our own units. So that happens every once in a while. They have a life steal creature here, an Infernal Tyrant, and they're exactly at 5. We have 5 damage going through, but they gain the life. Well, easy solution. We just kill our creature that is blocked by the Infernal Tyrant before it can life steal. So make sure that it's the one being blocked, kill it, and we deal 5 damage. Now we're on to our gold odds and ends puzzles. So this puzzle is a bit of a weird one. It's actually an entire game. We have to play this game until we win. So we're going to start off by playing time because we need to get this Sand Warrior down as soon as possible. Because currently we're getting hit with an Infernus every turn. So we've got to win before the fires consume us. And now we get to play Diplomatic Seal again for a time. Play Praxis Stranger, which will give us 3 time to get our Sand Warrior around. We are not going to block. We can't block here and win. They're going to get an Infernus every turn. We just need to race it, beat the flames before they kill us. Next, we're going to accelerate this Champion of Wisdom and play the Elysian Banner. We don't have enough to play it yet, but we can do this. Attack, pass. We've got them to 20. We're down to 10. Getting awful close, but we deal them 11 damage next turn, and they can't kill us, so we have the puzzle solved. It just takes enough time. Put them to 9, pass again. Opponent is going to play the Infernus, and this is a key thing. If we had tried to block with the Champion of Wisdom, it would rally and kill the champion. Kind of annoying, but you can't solve the puzzle that way. So you have to just keep attacking your opponent. And that's what we do for the win. Second gold odds and ends puzzle. Cut through all that health and win this turn. So this one's a ton of fun because our opponent starts out at 51 health. And we have to cut through all of it. And we get to do some really absurd shenanigans using all of these cards to actually win. So we're going to attack our opponent for 8 first. And then we want to use Seek Power to get a Time Sigil. The Time Sigil is important because we're going to need this to have 5 influence so that we can actually draw back our Dawnwalkers. And we have Grinva here, who's also going to play a bit of fun here. So we're going to play the Time Sigil. And then we're going to play Stonescar Stranger and Skycrag Stranger. We get down our Grinva. And now we have Bloodright Kalis here to sacrifice the rest of our team if we need. But we're first going to actually play Alpine Tracker, and that will kill off our Dawnwalkers. That's important because now we can Forsworn Stranger, get them back, and sacrifice them again to Bloodright Kalis. All of our creatures die at the same time, which triggers Grinva for a ton of damage, 20 exactly, and we deal the last 14 with the Kalis. Last gold odds and ends puzzle. Beware of traps, but find a way to win this turn. This one was annoying for me. What you don't know at the start is that you actually have the top 2 cards of your library stay the same. It is a Spiked Helm, and then it is a Firebomb, which will deal you 5 damage. So you can't draw it appropriately, or it'll kill you. So what we need to do is we need to start off by drawing 2 cards, but not drawing 2 cards. We do that through Second Sight. So we get our top 2 cards, and one of them is this Firebomb, which we're going to put back on top of our library. Now we want to use Trailblaze. You can't use Island's Favor. It does give you Aegis, but the Firebomb is technically your card, so the Aegis doesn't protect you. What you do is you use Trailblaze, put that Firebomb on the bottom of your deck so that you're not drawing it, because you actually draw cards off of Tundra Explorer 2 possibly. Now after that, you play your Sigil there, put down a Spiked Helm, draw another Sigil, and we have exactly 9 damage to kill our opponent. Our Diamond Odds and Ends puzzle finds us in a ground stall that we need to win. So we're looking at our opponent's board here, and what we are going to do is give our opponent's Sandstorm Titan flying. This is a really strange one because it says units can't fly, however, they can still gain flying. So we're going to actually go Cobalt Acolyte, give it flying, and then we can use the Stormcaller and Violent Gust to kill it. So even though it's on the ground, it still has flying, which is weird, but it works. And we attack for 8 and win the game. Our second Diamond Odds and Ends puzzle is once again having us win the game in a single turn. And we're going to do that through some shenanigans, making our Call of the Ancients cheaper so that we can win as one-costed creatures that have charge. Because it's going to be 6 for them. That'll be exactly 7 damage. We're going to start off by using Trail Stories to make the Call of the Ancients cheaper. Now we play the Call of the Ancients. And now what's important is that the Sauropod Wrangler and the Stone Shaker make them cheaper. Stone Shaker, though, is too much power. So if we use it, and then we use this, we use all 8 of our power, and we don't have any left to play over the Titan. So we want to play Sauropod Wrangler, which is going to make them cheaper even in our deck. They're still 1 cheaper. The Kronwatch Press Gang, then, draws a 1-cost creature out of our deck of our choice, which is going to be a 6/6 Titan. We play the Titan, and we get to attack for exactly 7 to win the game. Our last diamond puzzle, we're doing our odds and ends, and we're going to be doing some killing off of our opponent's team here. This one's pretty simple. We have things like Inspire Obedience to kill an enemy unit, but that's just going to use too much power. What we want to do is use Detain and Scare. It doesn't really matter which way we use these, and it's going to kill our Surso. We could have done that on the Roland. That's fine too. And then we use Minotaur Duelist to stun the other one, and we attack for exactly 6 and win the game. Very simple puzzle. Alright, we have our first Master Odds and Ends puzzle. We have a Magus in the Mist to try and live, and then we've got to attack our opponent on the backswing to win this game. So we're going to play the Magus in the Mist. Now, the important thing is that it'll die to one of these Sky Crags. We can't really stop that, so we need to polymorph it so that our dragon doesn't die if they decide to fight. Now we just pass. Our opponent does not have enough to actually attack us, so we let that happen. And now we Cloudsnake Saddle, attack with our team, and our opponent is going to not block with enough, which is going to let us Talon Dive and give our dragon Overwhelm to deal just enough damage to win the game. It's very important to hold on to that Talon Dive, though, or they will double block the big dragon and you will not be able to win. Second Master Odds and Ends puzzle. Almost finished all of them. This one, we're going to be using some Void shenanigans to get through all of this damage and kill them this turn. So first we're going to want to decay the Sword of the Sky King. Doesn't really matter when we do that. And the important thing to note is that we have a means to an end. So when we gain life, we discard that many cards from our deck. Then if we have no cards in our deck, sacrifice means to the end and deal 25 damage to the player. So we're going to use Sporefolk to put more cards into our graveyard. Then we are going to devour our Sporefolk. Which is going to get more cards into our graveyard. We will Dark Return the Sporefolk. Get it back. Play it again. Put more cards in. Almost out of cards. It's exactly what we want. One more from that. We get to mirror the Sporefolk. This will put us down to 2 cards. The Excavate will put us back up to 3. And we're going to put 2 cards then off of our gaining 2 life. We have 1 card left, and because we gain life when this attacks, we just attack with it. Lose the last card of our library. Means to an End goes off, and we win the game. Final puzzle of all of the Eternal puzzles. It is our last Master Odds and Ends puzzle. And we are going to have to win in a single turn, just like most of them. This one is interesting because we have to get together enough cards to play Witching Hour and deal 25 damage through this Aegis. So what's important here is that the Witching Hour gives us a killer Pale Rider. So it's going to be able to fight through the Aegis and give us opening for our Bloodright Kalis to win the game. So we want to use Talier's Choice on ourselves to give us 2 1/1s. And then we're going to use it again off of an attack from Westwind Herald so that we can play it one more time, bringing us back up to 26 life, which will let us play the Hall of Lost Kings for maximum value. So we get to Hall of Lost Kings. Gives us 5 creatures. Now we can Grenadin Drone. And what we'll do now is use the Bloodright Kalis and sacrifice all of them. We're slowly bringing that Witching Hour down. We needed to save the Torrent of Spiders for now, because every time that we play a card, it makes Witching Hour cheaper. This one says play Deadly Spiders and stuff, so you actually get 6 off of the Witching Hour here. So it's going to make the Witching Hour a lot cheaper. Now we Dark Return to get back the Grenadin Drone that gives us the extra Grenadin. Make sure that you don't click the other one, because otherwise you just barely miss out on having enough from the Witching Hour. That makes our Witching Hour 0. Play it for free. Get our Pale Riders. Use our Killer one to kill their Aegis creature and deal 24 with our Kalis for the win. And there you have it. Every single puzzle in Eternal, start to finish. If you have any problems with the puzzles, you can always check these spoilers. Thanks everybody for watching. I do really appreciate it. And if you want to see more wonderful Eternal content, you can subscribe to our channel, or you can check out newmottgaming.com, where I write articles and put up all of these videos. Thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you another time.